So now we will be recording this entire session. Let's see here. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just let me know when you could see it. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to do this screen. Sure. Okay. So let me know when you could see my screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Perfect. Okay, let me minimize all these. Okay, so it's this. You got the invite to Favro this morning, I saw as well, and you accepted it?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I've accepted it. So.
Okay, so let me show you what Favro is. So this is Favro. We'll start with the software and stuff we're using. So let me hide this and get this out of the way. So Favro, this is my executive dashboard. Basically, Favro is it's a project management software that allows for multiple people to work on projects at the same time, and it allows for the communication without really having to communicate. Like when you do tasks, I'll just get updates and so on and so forth. So it makes it easier, so we don't have to type so much. What I shared with you was our copywriting dashboard. So the copywriting dashboard, I assume this is what you see when you log in as well. And if it's not, let me know. But this is what you should see.
Yeah. Let me just find that one. Yeah, that's what I've seen.
Perfect. Okay. So what I've done is I broke it down into three sections. We have the items, the new items, which is going to be the products that you'll be adding to the site, and then the blogs, so the stuff that we've been doing. So what I'm going to do, and quite frankly, I'd like you to do it as well if you find the time, or if let's say you're out with your partner, you come up with like a good idea that you think we want to write about, you can just create your own card here, and you would just simply create a card, and like it could be from you, and you say like, I have an idea for a new penis pump article, and then you go into here, and then you would just literally click into it, and then this is basically where it will be your dashboard for that, and you could say, hey, I want to add Danny to this, so he sees everything, and then the tags. Well, I know this is and you can easily just click in and copy, but the tags help organize. So like, and I could help you with the tags. It's no big deal. And if you get confused with these or you forget, I'm not overly worried about the tags. It's just helpful organization, but it's not the end of the world. And then in here, it's just literally you type, there's formatting, you could do anything you want. We can converse, you can go like, so you can say like, Richard, this is doing well, whatever it may be. And then if you have a question about something, let's just say, we can go back into the article. Like I came up with an article for pegging. So then I tagged you in it, and then I would in here give you the ideas of, okay, I want to make sure I'm like, how cover the concepts of how to peg, what is pegging, and then so on and so forth. And then I would just simply make them bullets. And then if you're involved in this, and if you have a question about like, hey, what do you want to do with, goes, Danny, what do you want to do with, pegging how to, or whatever it may be, you know what I mean? Like, and it would tag me. It's very simple stuff. And that's really ultimately what it is. So that's what this is. If you want to set yourself a time frame, you say, I'm going to get this done in the next 10 days or whatever, you set your time frame, and it's good to go. So that's just to keep your ideas organized, and for the same thing for me to organize my ideas and share them with one another. Now, once you have an idea, let's just say you want to get going. So let's just say I put everything together for the pegging, and I want you to get going on it. I'm going to then throw this into the to-do copywriting pipeline. So basically this pipeline just lets you know, or just basically communicates where we're at in the process. So once I've set this up to be an automated process, so once I drag it over to the to-do list, it automatically tags you in it. And then then you would get the notification that says, okay, Danny wants me to do this. I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's status to do. You could start working on it or whatever. And then once you're if you have no questions and you just pump through it, you could either change the status from here to doing, or once you're actually doing it, you put it to doing, and then it moves it over to doing. But you can also just drag it. You could drag from card to card. So once you're doing it, you drag it, and it keeps you here. Now watch this. Like, so once, let's just say you're done and you have to submit it for my approval, instead of telling me it's done, just drag it here, and then it automatically updated me now. And so now I'll get the notification, you're removed for it. So then anything I do, is I don't need, you're no longer involved in this card unless I bring you back in. Let's just say I didn't like something and I need something fixed. I could either go back to doing and say, hey, I want this fixed, and then you send it back to doing again. And then once it's done, once I approve it, I simply move it over here to set as live. And I don't know why because I'm dragging it's easy to drag the whole column as the card. So from approval, I set it as live and it's done, and it removed everybody from the card and no one's the wiser. So it's pretty simple stuff. Any questions so far?
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You can add images, as you can see here. Like this card this was a templated card that came with the software. So like it has an image. You could put images in here. You could attach spreadsheets. I've also integrated it with our Slack channel. So the content marketing channel. So you could see all this stuff. I was testing it, which is why you see all of these different,
okay, that's what it was, right. Okay.
Yeah, so you can ignore all these for the time being because these were just tests. Now that I believe I've got it solved, this will just keep it updated. So like if I send an item that I need you to get done, it will also send a message in here just so you see it. You don't have to respond in here or anything like that, but it's literally just communication. So we've covered blog ideas, we've covered the copywriting pipeline. So going to now the new items. What this is basically like a little Excel spreadsheet, and I'm adding items here that I want to basically put on the website. So this is going to be your central area of where you're going to go to see the tasks that are pending for you to do.
Okay.
So I'm adding items. And so what I could do is I can add an item here, and then I could just call this, link pleasure lube or whatever. Let's just call link pleasure lube. And then as soon as I hit it, I've created this to where if you heard that knock, it just got sent into our channel in Slack. And so then I will either put the part number here, like ABC 123, or you could always do the same thing here. So this column and this column are right here in this column. So I could either do it from within the card, or I could do it from within the sheet, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and the part number, that's the SKU number. That's your selling number.
Yes, sir. Correct. And I'll get to that right now. In fact, I'll show you. Let me open this up. So let's just say, so then we're going to go ABC 123 will be the SKU, or 12, whatever it is. Let me grab a URL when you quit. Any URL makes no difference because I'm going to delete this anyway. So then we'll go back into, where's my Favro card? So then I will put the dashboard. I'll put the link here, enter the URL, hit enter, and there it is. So now you have the information you need from me to get going. So then from here, I'm debating if you know what? I'm going to go ahead and allow you to do this. So from here, you have this new item spreadsheet. I want you to just, when you're ready to start putting things on, nope, you know what, screw it, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. So I'm going to keep this list so you can see what's in the pipeline. And then when I'm ready for you, I'll just start sending them over to this card, to the, I don't know why, to the card. And keep in mind, it's in no
audio.
Let me see here. No audio at all.
Sec.
Hello.
Hey, sorry, I just lost your audio for a mo.
Oh, that's weird. I'm sorry. Okay, but you're good. You can hear me.
Yeah. It's probably my broadband. We have the house that we live in here is like, it's 110 years old or something, and the walls are like that thick. And I've got the door closed in here as well, so basically I've like shut the broadband out pretty much.
Okay, well, if you have issues and you need to stop and restart, you just let me know, and obviously I'll do whatever you need me to do.
Okay. If it does it again, I'll just open the door.
Perfect. Okay. So what I'll do then, so as I was mentioning, I take cards. When I'm ready for you to do a card, I'll take them from my list and I'll throw it into here. Okay. And so anything in the to-do column will be ready for you. You could start from the top, or you could pick and choose. Unless I specifically state, like, I need you to do this first, in which case I'll tag you in it, and you'll have there'll be no miscommunication. You'll know if you need to do it first or not. And so that's basically it. And from there, you just continue dragging through as we've done. And so let me get rid of here. If you can always go here and like click delete, and it won't delete it from the column. It only delete it from the pipeline. So you're okay to delete from there if need be. So I'm actually going to delete all these because I don't want these in the pipeline right now. We'll go back to that. So anyway, so going back into the cards, you see it has the link, it has the part number, it has the name of the product.
Yeah.
From here, you'll be able to do everything you need to do into Shopify. So we're kind of done in Favro. This was just to show you what, how to see what's going to happen next, and then to communicate back and forth. So are you good here? Do you want to clarify anything?
No, that makes sense. It just cuts the typing out basically, doesn't it? So it's just, okay. No,
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
And I'll do a little bit of reading up around it as well. But it makes sense.
Absolutely. And if you have questions, by all means, ask away anytime through Slack or whatever. I'm obviously always around to help. And, I want to make sure I found this to be the best platform, and you might find I found it from one of my freelancers. I'm using it now. Maybe, one day you might like it. You start using it for you and your clients. I just find it very, very helpful and very easy to use, and to keep the communication very tight. Especially because you're in the UK, I'm in America. It's like there's so much time between us that it's very easy to miscommunicate, and these help solve those problems. Cool.
That's fine. That makes sense.
Beautiful. Okay. So from here, what we're going to do, number one, okay, let me go back. Did you get the invite to honeysplace.com?
Let me just have a look.
Okay.
When did you send that?
I sent it this morning, and I sent it to the same email that we've always had from, let's see here.
The TMN.
Yeah. So I sent it to RW at totalmarketing.network.
Let me just see.
I guess.
For Shopify.
Manage users.
I can't see it.
So you're here, enabled. I wonder. Let's try something real quick. I'm going to go incognito. I wonder if it's going to ask you, maybe it doesn't send you an invite. Let's go to Honey. I'm going to go to honeysplace.com. So Honey's Place is one of my vendors, and we're going to use them for, this is where you're going to get the information that you're going to use for the website, the part numbers, all that stuff. Let me see here. Maybe if I do this, and password. Okay. So maybe if you check your email now, I sent you a password reset. I know some websites want you to do that.
Takes a little bit of. Yeah, got it.
Beautiful. Okay. If you can just log in, and I want to know, because I've never actually seen a buyer's dashboard from Honey's Place. So I guess I don't know what you can see. So I would like to know, that way I don't want to tell you something's there and you're like, all right, no, it's not.
Certainly. So I think I've signed up for updates. Hang on, I haven't actually signed up to reset.
No worries, no worries. All good.
There we are. Let me just bookmark that as well.
Perfect. Yeah, because that one will be where you always go to.
Yeah, I hadn't had that before because I've marked everything up before I called. So I've
Okay.
put it on the top thing. But yeah, that's fine.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So when you log in, are you logged in?
I am logged in, yes.
Okay. So when you can go to any product, it just let me know. Do you see pricing and everything in there? Like when you go, or in fact, let me give you, would you mind sharing yours so I can see what you see, your
Yeah,
desktop?
yeah, sure.
Okay, let me do that. Let me give you control.
Got so many windows here.
Okay, so I've allowed, you should be able to share your screen. See if you can figure.
Okay. So sharing. No, there we are. Okay. Can you see?
I think it's coming. Hold on. No, I do not see your screen.
Host disabled. It says host disabled attendee screen sharing.
Oh, I did. Ooh, okay. I'm new to the Zoom, so I apologize. Let me try to screen sharing. One participant, advanced sharing options. Okay, here we go. Who could share? All. Okay, try now. See if that works.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
Lovely. No worries. This should be it. This is only the second time I've done this.
Perfect. Okay, so you're good. Okay, so there's obviously a lot of crude and nudity in here, but you've probably expected that. Okay, so like that butterfly kiss vibe. If you click onto that real quick, or any of them, yeah, it makes no difference. That fleshlight girl, the Mia, this right in the middle.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, any of them, it doesn't make a difference. I just want to see which. Okay, cool. So this right here is a product page for Honey's Place. And if you look, so obviously it's pretty self-explanatory. You have your title. If you see right below the title, it says item number and the ILS-11611. Okay, so that's the part number. The part number, the title, and the URL, those are what you would see in that Favro card. So when I give you a link, it'll link you to the product page in Honey's Place. So this information now is going to be utilized within Shopify. So the item number, and this will be all self-explanatory once we get into Shopify, but I just wanted you to see it from the dashboard standpoint, that our price, the information you're going to be grabbing from is going to be the item number, the product UPC, and the price. And then if you scroll down, the weight. That's really the only things you're going to really ever pay attention to in here. And then from there, you'll be able to put it into Shopify. But that's really all I wanted to show you. And if, I'll tell you, if you go through the site and you ever want anything or something like that, you see my cost, I don't care. You just let me know and I can get you something, and you pay my cost. So I don't know, if you ever, I know some people go through this like, oh, this is cool. So don't ever feel like, you can't ask me. I have no problem. My cost is your cost. You just have to cover the freight over, which obviously is probably pretty expensive, but just throwing that out there for you.
Cool. Thank you.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Okay, if you stop sharing your screen, I want to go back into my screen so we can pump into the Shopify now.
Okay.
So I just wanted to see what you had. Okay, and we're getting through here. Screen share. Here we go. I'm concerned of one thing. I'm hoping that. Okay. So here we go. You can see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to get directly into Shopify now. So when you get into have you logged into Shopify yet?
I must have, hang on. I think so. Just let me have a look if I've bookmarked it.
No worries.
There we go. I'm sure that I had.
Okay, no worries.
I think it expired. I'm sure. I know I did. And
it said you accepted it.
I accepted it, and let's see if I can do it this way. I logged out. Hang on. So I must be able to log in again.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, for the time being, I'm going to just show you on mine. And then afterwards, if things change, like if you log in, you're like, well, I don't show this, this, or this, we can go back over and see. But I'm pretty sure what you're going to see is what I see right now, because I set you up for product.
Cool. Okay. I have logged in. I just can't find my way back into it yet.
Okay. No worries at all. Okay. So from here, what we're going to do is we want to add a product. Now, there's two different ways we can do it. You can either start from a fresh template, or you can duplicate an existing product on our site. Now, I'm going to recommend duplicating a product on the site because it'll cut down on the amount of time that you have to spend. I will show you how to add normally simply by clicking this add product button, and it comes up with a fully blank template. There's zero information in here. And you would simply start at the top and work your way down. But for the purpose of this video, we're not going to worry about that. We'll just start with an existing item. So when you come to determine which product you want to duplicate, you're always going to start based off of the product type. Everything always starts with the product type, which you can find here. And you can also, oops, I didn't mean to click into that. You can also, you could filter. So there's a bunch of different filters. You could type, you could search by the vendor, availability. Let's see here. I would always recommend product type because let's just say we're going to start with penis pumps today. I have a list of penis pumps I want you to do. You know it's a penis pump just by looking at the product. So you want to duplicate a penis pump. You go to the product type, find penis pumps, and done. And it's going to filter out only the products that are penis pumps. So from here, you're going to want to grab, and you'll probably end up, what I find I do is I find the one product that I continuously use for that category's duplication. So like, for example, this one, I think I've been using the Adams Pro Max. So I'll show you in a sec. So if I click into it, yeah, so this is the one I've been using as a template for penis pumps. So I would, in fact, have you do the same. So the most important aspect of this is when you find the product you want to duplicate, you make sure to duplicate it. Because I personally made this mistake where I forgot to click duplicate right here.
Okay.
And I simply start changing, the title to be like, the best penis pump, and then halfway through, I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't click duplicate. And so then you have to discard all the changes. You're going to lose the changes. Otherwise you'll screw up, the existing product that you were duplicating. So first step is always the most important, click duplicate.
Okay.
Once you click duplicate, this window pops up and it takes the title and adds copy of. So from here, we're going to want to obviously make our own title because it's a brand new item. I want you to pay attention to, you never want to click images, SKUs, or barcodes, because this is, if you read it, it's asking what information do you want to bring over. Okay. And since it's a new item, we obviously don't want to bring over anything. We want to leave those be. So keep these unchecked. And then the availability always defaults to hide. And I want that as well to remain because it doesn't push it live to the site until I verify it, and then I'll manually mark it as live. Yeah. So from here, let's go find the first item I want to add to Shopify. So it's going to be the Commander. So we're going to click in here. I see the part number. So you can do multiple things. You could either grab the part number, I just copied it, or just click in the link, and it's going to open up the link I provided directly to the page. So this is the item that we're going to want to add. So this item is the Commander Pump Electric Penis Pump. What you want to always do is you're going to have to find images of the product, and you're going to also have to find the information to write about. Okay. That's probably going to be your most challenging part of this entire project, is finding information. But you've already proven to be a very good researcher, so I don't think that is going to be a problem. So from here, we're going to take the information that we have in Honey's Place. That way we can move on. We're going to we'll start with the title. Going into here, so it's called the Commander Pump, and you can always look into the image that Honey's Place provides. You might have to click images. I also found it here, so I just had this up. So I like to look at what they say on the packaging just to see what it is, because when you put a title, the titles are very important. The title plays a much larger role in e-commerce than initially I even thought. It has SEO aspects to it. It has Google shopping aspects to it. So while most websites simply just say basically like this title, or they'll grab this title, that's not how we do it. We're much better than that. So it takes a little bit of creativity to come up with a better title. So the initial thoughts though, and if you have questions, please stop me, is we're going to call this the Commander Electric Penis Pump, and I'll show you why. So we're going to call this, and I'm going to take out even the, so we're going to call it Commander Electric. And I'll show you something real quick. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to duplicate it. Let me make sure I spelled Commander right, because this title right here becomes the URL of the website. So that's why it's so important. Number one, spelling is crucial. And then also you want to always keep the URLs as short as possible, which is actually counterintuitive to what we want the title to be, because the title we want longer. We want to fill it with information. But if we put all of that information in here, it's going to put that information in the URL, which we don't want. So we want to keep the most short and truncated version of the title when we duplicate.
That's very similar to my tech clients when I'm creating their stuff. So that's really good.
Perfect. So then we'll go ahead and duplicate it. And now you could see the title is what we created, but the URL, if we go all the way to the bottom, we could see how the URL was formatted nicely. But now we're going to go back to the top and fix all of this. So now we're going to call this thing, now this is the time when you get creative. So we might call it, and I'm going to give you the ability to do as you see fit. And over time, you'll get to you'll understand better of how we look for, what we title things. And I highly recommend going through the website and seeing how we title all the rest of this stuff.
Okay.
Because that will give you great insight into my head. Because ultimately, I'm looking for you to try to mimic what I do. So you can kind of go through here and see the different titles. You can see I use erection enhancer cock ring. I use penis pump. I'm sorry, this is a penis pump kit, sorry. I use different enhancement device. I use different words, and there's no rhyme or reason. It's all based on like what I'm doing at the time. So I tell you that so you can kind of have a little bit of freedom. As long as it says like penis pump, you have to call out the title. So for here, I'll call this the Commander Electric, I'm going to even the Commander cock pump. And then I like to use that separator. I think that's a good look and it makes it easy for people to see. So the Commander cock pump, and then we can call it Automatic Electric Penis Pump by SI Novelties. So that would be, in my opinion, a proper title. So from there, what we want to do, after we get the title we're happy with, we need to then come here, copy the title. And then this is the title, this right here. So let me go back. The title here is what you see when you hover over a tab. So you see how it says buy penis pumps and cock pumping accessories? That tab is what you would see from the title. So going back to the original product we were looking at, the title here, this title is also here. So it's important that you understand that. Then you grab this information here, and then you go to this is the H1 tag, which is a header tag, which is for SEO. And you would literally just paste it in. But then you would want to kind of remove some of this one, you can either rewrite it. So you might want to call it the Commander Electric Cock Pump, or you can call it the Electric PD, whatever. This right here is for SEO purposes. It's important to make sure you put the category and the title of the product together and shorten it. Very simple stuff. If you have any questions, let me know. But and that's the H1 tag. Now you always want it. It should always be aligned center. Go ahead.
And it will automatically, if you're using that font and that size, that's automatically H1. You don't have to. What's the word?
It'll migrate over. So as long as you're copying as long as you duplicate an existing page, it will copy over all of the formatting.
So
if you start.
So the word markdown. So there's no need for us to do markdown. It sets all that up automatically without all those hashtags and nonsense. Exactly.
So that will automatically do it if you copy it over. If you don't copy it over, then you'll have to do it manually. But that's why I recommend doing it, duplicating it, because now this is already formatted. You have nothing to do other than make sure that the title is what you want it to be.
I spent a very long last summer learning the basics of Markdown.
So then, so it can be complicated, but we make it. I want to make it easy. So at the end of the day, when you're doing this, once you've conquered a couple of them, it probably, including all of the writing, it shouldn't take more than 15 to 20 minutes to do a full product.
Sure.
Yeah, so it does speed up. Now you always want anything that's tagged with an H tag that you could see, like this, and then this. Those are always center aligned, and they're not bolded or anything. So they're center aligned, and then the top one is always H1, which it's already done, but you can see it's heading 1. Yeah. So like, let's just say you accidentally go like this, and you do, by accident, you do this or something, and you screw it up somehow, some way. All you end up doing, just make sure there's always 2 spaces between the next bit of content and what you're trying to work on, because otherwise it will take the formatting and shove it through the rest. So as long as there's 2 spaces, you're good. You would simply go here, back to center align, back to H1, done. That's it. So then from there, you just start your content writing. You would just write your description. In regards to your writing, obviously I've seen your writing, it's very good. I would recommend that you review our descriptions for products are not written in the same manner that you do the blogs. Blogs are more informative. You're not selling in a blog. Here we actually have to sell. So you really want to focus on the customer, not the product. So it's an interesting way to do it, but you want to talk about the benefits. So if you read how I write it, like if you're looking for this, like if you're looking for the thicker and harder erections, you're showing the benefits. So you can, again, go back and read. If you have questions, let me know, but it's pretty simple stuff. You want to provide the benefits of the product. You want to do the description, you want to include the features of the product in the description. You can always find this information online, and then you'll just have to kind of write it yourself. So after you do a paragraph or 2 of a description, you split it, and then you want to do the actual features. Now why choose the, you could also have done, you could have done this. It's all good. It features, why choose this? This is like a short bulletized area of features of the product and why a customer would want to buy it. Yeah. And then bullets, obviously the bullets are right there. If you lose up the formatting and stuff, I can help you with that. And then more description or whatever. And then we always save the sizing for the bottom. So we always try to have sizing for everything. If you cannot find sizing at all, let me know and we'll work around it. It's just typically the sizing's on the internet. We just have to look hard. Like for example, this one, the Commander we're working on, here's the manufacturer's website. It's junk. They don't give you any information. So I went and I Googled around and I found the Amazon, and then I found this. And then, so there's our sizing for the pump. So it's the cylinder is 2.5 inches wide. The overall length is 11.5 inches. And it gives you a little bit of features. So I tell you that. So then you would put all of the information here. We start with inches, and then we always convert over to centimeters.
Yeah.
And then the last part of the description is going to be inserting the hyperlinks, which is internal cross-linking. And this is specifically for SEO purposes. We try to have 5 backlinks per, a minimum of 5 to 10 per description. Now, I'll show you, you received this, right? The MindMeister.
Just one second, I'm just making the 5 to 10 backlinks.
Well, so I'll show you, if you received the MindMeister, all of that is in here.
Okay.
So I wanted to make it so you didn't have to do any writing. I wanted to make it easy for you. So I created this MindMeister map that shows you everything. So if you look here under the copywriting, it gives you the template we would use for title. And then it would say like body description, copy title, and then H1 tag we talked about. And then the description, model the tone, comedy, dry humor, focus on benefits to the customer. And then from there, use 4 to 8 internal backlink descriptions. So you see that. And it says, see backlinks guide. So I'm creating a backlink guide. It's taking me a lot of time, but I'm creating it so that way I figured what started me on the backlink guide was when you put the backlinks into the blog post. Unfortunately, sometimes I do have to change them, and it's no fault of your own. You did a good job guessing, but it wasn't what I had initially wanted, but you could never have known that because I didn't tell you. So that got me thinking about creating a guide. That way you could just say, okay, well, I know I want to backlink penis pumps in here. So I would have found like, you know, or cock pump. I would have found that in the backlink guide. And the guide will show you exactly which link on our website to put and the title that you would want to put, and you would just put it in there like that. So I'm sure that might confuse you a little bit, and we'll have to go back and forth on that. But ultimately, 4 to 8, 5 to 10, whatever, there's no rhyme or reason. It's more so we don't want to put too little or too much, so I'll let you see fit. But each of these these are all the backlinks. And they could be in here.
Have you created that list of backlinks?
So here, I'll show you right now. Let me back. Internal backlinking guide. So I'll share this with you. And I've just barely started it. But what it is, it looks like this. So the backlink and then anchor text is basically, you see 1, 2, 3. And in fact, I'll call it.
Okay.
Cool. So I tried to make it as easy to understand as possible. Each one of these is a different link, as you could see. Oops. And this is it links, this is the page that I would want. So for example, penis pumps. So I'm going to copy this backlink and let's just find penis pump. So here we go. So I found the word penis pump right here, and I want to create a backlink. So you just highlight it, go over here to the insert link, paste the link I put in here, and then penis pump. And that's the title. This title will always be whatever the highlighted word is. So you did penis pump, or if you want to be cock pump or whatever it is, that's fine. So and then you just insert link, and there you go. So now you can see that link is in here. And that's simple. So you would, and let's just say this was, you know, and hopefully this list will be very long, and then you could just kind of search for what you want. And the more you do, the more you'll see, like, there's only maybe 5 to 10 different pages you would ever link through any of the entire website. And it's always like category pages. So penis pumps, electric penis pump sleeves. These are all high level categories that you would link through. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. And you'll send me this doc.
Yep. In fact, I'll do that right now. Well, I'll do that after. Let me just grab your email. I'll do that right now. Okay, so you should have an invite to this, and I'll continue working on this. Will be a work in progress, and eventually, maybe one day you might even get to the point where you're able to help me put this together because you know the business so much. Ideally that's where I'd like to take this, because I want to continue working with you for the foreseeable future, and I want to give you more responsibility, and if that's something that you're interested in.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay, so we've kind of nailed down the description itself. Any questions about the description?
No, this all makes sense. It's very familiar in terms of the back end, like a lot of other couple of other clients I've worked on for the back end system. So it makes more sense than I thought it was going to. So I'm quite relieved.
Awesome. And I kind of figured how it would happen. Most of the time when you get into something like this, it seems confusing at first. Then the more you play with it, you're like, wow, this is exactly like this system or that system. And they build them all to be pretty similar. So moving forward, don't worry about product availability. This is where I was telling you, I'll go ahead and I'll manually push this live. So that you don't have to worry about. Going down to product type, because you're duplicating, it will automatically carry over the product type that you were going to want to, that you were modifying or you were adding. So most of the time you'll probably never play with this, but this is basically where you assign the product type. Now, as far as vendor goes, so here's the situation with this. The vendor is not going to be like Honey's Place. The vendor is the brand. They just call it vendor. So for example, this one, the brand is SI Novelties. 99% of the time, the vendor will already have been in there. You just have to find it. But I could tell you right now, I know for a fact I've never done anything by SI Novelties. So this one, you will have to have had put it in. So once you know the brand, you would want to just search. So like, okay, well, I know it's SI Novelties. It's not there. Okay, so I'm going to paste the whole thing and then just add it like that. So now SI Novelties has been added as a vendor. So there's nothing else for you to do on the vendor side. Moving down, the collections, this is automated. So they automatically get assigned to a collection based off of vendors, product type, and tags. So all you really need to know is that you make sure the product type is correct, the vendor is the vendor correct, and then for tags, it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve because there's a boatload of tags. And then each tag is a little bit unique to a product category, but this is why I wanted you to duplicate, because it's going to carry over most of the proper tags.
Okay.
Like every penis pump is going to have the tag penis pumps. Every penis pump is going to have the tag larger penis. Every tag for a penis pump is going to most likely, well, that's pretty much the only two that were almost guaranteed. This new product does not have cyber skin, so I know that we'd get rid of it. Whenever you see Corona, get rid of it, because Corona I tagged as a product that I could not get during coronavirus. So I would zero out the inventory, and it was just for me to be able to find the product in bulk. So you would always want to get rid of Corona, never want a Corona tag. And then from here, if you're adding a penis pump, okay, clearly the pump is clear. So you would see, okay, transparent clear is the color of the product. So you're okay, you keep that. Standard pump, this is actually not a standard pump. Standard means a pump with a bulb, or a pump with a manual pump, basically. So it could be a bulb, it could be a trigger like this, it could be something like this. The only other way it would not be a standard is if it's either water or electric. So because we're going with the Commander electric pump, it's clearly not going to be standard because it's electric. So we would remove standard, and then we find electric pump. And so that adds the tag electric pump. Larger penis is okay. So then, always keep the 7 to 9 inch for penis pumps, because all penis pumps are 7 to 9 inch unless it's called like a 12-inch pump. And you'll know that because it's in the title. So you can keep those standard. The rest of the stuff you can pretty much keep standard, except for you're going to pay attention to the price, and you're also going to pay attention to, I think the price will be the most important, because now what we're going to do is go to Honey's place and always pay attention to your price. That's going to be the price that we have to put in. So our price on here is $73.50. So we go over here, and that's the cost. So cost per item is $73.50. We always charge tax on here, so don't ever bother with that. Always get rid of the compare to. I don't want you to ever pay attention to that, because I'll do that on my own. So then the only other thing you're going to want to pay attention to is price. So you're going to actually price our product. So this is very important that you pay attention to this, because ultimately, if you put a product up there that we're not making the proper amount of money on, and I don't catch it, we're going to be losing money. And obviously it's my fault, but I want you to, you're here to help me make my life easier, and I don't want to make a mistake. And then, you know what I mean? So the way we price products is we take our cost and we times it by 1.6. So very simple. So let me pull up my calculator. So $73.50 times 1.6 is $117.60. So from there, what we'd want to do is just price this out at $117.60. Actually, no, I'm sorry. That's not going to work. I want to go off a margin. So we need to be at 50% margin. So let's double it. So double the cost. So that would be what, 145 or so, 146, let's call it. Yeah, perfect. We'll even call it 146.50. Okay. So margin between 49 to 50. Okay, so then and the reason I show you this, now go back to the tag, look at this. So this tag right here, these are filter tags. So let me show you on a product page, so 25 to 50. If we go to the penis pump landing page, on the left-hand side of the category page is our filters. And this is the tag. So electric penis pump. We know that product we just added will show up here. We don't want it to show up under standard, because look at, these are all the manual pumps. Yep. We want it to show up when we have electric. But anyway, and then the sizing, we went over, the color, we went over the tag. brand we want over as a tag. So pricing now. The price, the price tag is going to be whatever the pricing is, not our cost, but the pricing. So this is for customers to filter out, I want products that are only $100 or more or whatever. So this one, knowing that it's 146, we'll clear that one out. And you can always just do a $sign and it'll show up all the tags. So we know that this is $100 plus because it's the most expensive. So if you look, it's pretty simple, self-explanatory. So we're going to add that tag for $100 plus, and then we move down. Here is our SKU. So going back to Honey's place, get rid of this. The SKU is the item number. So we'll copy over the item number, paste it into here. And then only other thing we do is add -EM for dash enhanced mail. And so that's literally all we do for the part number. Come over here, grab just the UPC, paste it under the barcode. And then under track quantity, you want to uncheck it. We don't want Shopify to track quantity. Then moving down, it is a physical product. Weight, we go back into here, specifications, 1.1 pounds. So everything always goes under pounds. So if it was like a ½ pound, it would go under 0.50 or 0.50, whatever you want to do. This one was 1.1. If there is no weight, you can just default to 1 pound, and I'll accept that. But if there is a weight, most of them have, you'd be there. Okay, so don't do anything with customs information. You don't have to do anything if this is not a variant. If it's a variant product, you and I will go over that at the time of that. So don't worry about variants. And then we get to the bottom, and this is the search engine preview. So this is also important. We need to make sure we do this properly. So you would come over here to edit SEO, website SEO, and you come and you see 71 of 70. We don't want Google to ever truncate our information. That provides a bad user experience. So we try to make it written into a point where it doesn't get truncated. This always just pulls from the title. So then from here, you would just want to modify it. So for this one, we might want to call this, we could simply do this, watch this. Remove that, and we can do this. And now we're too short. So you just play around with the titles. If you have to remove a word here and there, remove the words that are less vital. So like if I had to choose anything in here, I probably would have got rid of the, if it still grammatically makes sense. If it doesn't grammatically make sense, then maybe get rid of automatic, because still you know it's an electric penis pump, so you always want to have that. So yeah, any questions on that so far?
That's fine. Some clients I've had, when you change the title in the page title, they've changed it back up at the top to mirror it. Do you do that?
No. We want the title to be a very long descriptive title, because it boosts a lot of SEO. It's beneficial to have a lot of information in here. But if you put too much information in here, it's going to be too much to fit into 70 characters. So this has to be a shortened version of that.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Going to the description, this is called the SEO, the meta description. This meta description is what you see in Google under, let's just say, Nike shoes.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know, this is the meta descriptions under here. Google's kind of, but these are the meta descriptions. So they truncate a lot of it. So we want to make sure that we give, again, the best value or the best experience. So what you could do is you could either, I'm going to just copy this, get rid of it. It will always try to pull, it pulls this information from the description. So you can't even delete it, but what you can do is just start rewriting it if you want, or you can just start with their template, which is completely fine. The only thing I want you to pay attention to is if you look here, it says the Commander electric penis pump. If you are looking, it doesn't make sense because it grabs the title tag too. So what you would want to do then is remove this, because that was a title tag, and then you would go like get rid of the rest of this. So it's still 100 characters too much. And then you could continue doing that. Now it's under, but you really want to, so while you're under, you still want to make sure that it says like, it says the proper, you want it to say the proper information. So you probably want to rewrite it quickly or something just to make sure you put in the commander, penis pump. You want to have the title in there because that helps with SEO as well. So you can either take the first paragraph and make sure that the title's in there, or you can rewrite it however you see fit, but it just basically has to have a couple quick selling points and the title in there.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's really it for that. There's only two parts left to the entire process of adding a product is the images and the short description. For images, I've even put it in here. Let me go back into this. Images always will be safe for web, 72 DPI, 900 by 900 pixel, and a white background. Those are really the only requirements. It has to be good pictures though. Like we pride ourselves on having fantastic product pictures, and the customers, they love them and it provides a better experience. So if you cannot find a product picture, skip it and let me know and I'll do my best. And if we can't find it, then we'll have to figure out if we may not put that product on the site. I will do my best to only give you products which I know have great images on the web. I will also give you the resources. There's going to be probably 5 different websites that you can always visit that I know has the majority of the products and they have their own images. So we can always take their images.
To be honest, I'm not going to jinx myself, but all the research that I've done when I've been writing, all the products mostly have got, 90% of them have got good images. So,
awesome.
So
that's good.
No problem.
Okay, cool. And like I said, I'll show you some websites as well that way you always have them in your back pocket. Like these images came from one of my competitors. I get it. You're not supposed to borrow images, but you know what? The web is what it is. And so we're no different. We borrow images where we see fit. So it is what it is. So when you create, you had already sent me samples of the images. You already know how to do the resizing, save for web, all of that. So ultimately, all you would do is you would take the images once they're ready, and you would just drag them from wherever you have them on your local hard drive into this media area, and then they'll upload, and that's it. I can even show you real quick. I'll just add a couple images. I don't even know what these images are, so hopefully they're not too bad. Actually, no, let me do this real quick. You don't have to worry about what I'm doing. I'm just grabbing images. So let's just say these 3 images. Let's just say they're already resized and they're good. So I'm uploading them here so you can see how they come in.
So I can just drag them from my hard drive, because some clients, they have a central library that they want them to go into before they go anywhere else.
Nope, you're good.
Cool.
Yeah, so when you find the images on the web, you just save them to your desktop, and then you go into your image editing software, resize them to be proper, make sure everything's good, and then you can just save them on your desktop and then just drag them over.
Fine.
Yeah. The only other part of the images that I want to talk about is the title. So the big part of SEO these days is image SEO. And with image SEO, titling the images is very important. Now, Shopify does they retitle images. It adds what's called a title tag to the image, or an image tag, but you still need to save the images as a proper title. So let's just say you had 5 images for this SI novelties item. When you find them from the web, like let's just say you're going to open, let's just say we're going to use this. So I'm going to go here, save image as. Rather than just calling it like whatever the image title is from wherever you found it, I would call this thing, and then I would do that. And then let's just say here's the next one. I would do the same thing with just like, so then this one, save image as, and then I would just call it 1. So now that way the images are titled. Let me minimize everything. So the images are titled, and that way that handles the SEO side of things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so then you would ultimately just, where are we here? Minimize this real quick. Sorry, I gotta reset this real fast. So then I would just, take these and you can just drag them right here. And then you can move them around. So it tells you which one's the main image. So like this would be the main image. So if you want that to be the main image, you need that. And then, you can organize them however you see fit. And obviously if I don't like it, I can reorganize them. There is a rhyme and a reason to it, but all you have to do is look on our site and you can kind of see. We always say packaging images for last, unless I often I created this image between this one and like this one to make it so customers could see packaging and product in the same image, but you don't have to do that if you find it's taking too much time. But that's always our main image. So anyway, so that's how you do images, always white backgrounds. We don't do colored backgrounds. We don't, and they always have to be those sizes. And in fact, I want to add one more thing here. Perfect. So now that you know the title, let's get rid of this. Okay, so any questions so far on everything? Because we're about to wrap it up.
No, I really think it all makes sense.
Awesome.
I was trying to try one. What I wanted to ask you about actually was the mechanics and the financial side of things.
Okay, before we jump into that, let me wrap it up then, and then all the questions in the world, everything we'll go through. But I just want to show you one last part. Number one, two parts. I highly, highly, highly recommend saving your work periodically throughout. Trust me on this. I've lost more than my fair share of work. I've wasted hours of work that just get lost because unfortunately things time out, and if you don't save it, chances are you're going to lose it. So either work off of Shopify and then copy paste in, or save your work periodically, because otherwise you're going to set yourself up for disaster. So I periodically save my work, and I highly recommend saving it before doing this last step, because the last step is going to remove you.
Where was the save bit? I was just writing always save things. Where was the save?
So when it's save, so watch this. So say up in this top right corner, there's no save button, but as soon as you make a modification, it just showed up. You see that?
Right.
It tells you there's unsaved changes, and it asks you if you want to save. So
your little screen was over it. Yeah. Right.
Did you see that? So if you type, then okay, cool. So let's get rid of this. So once you remove the things, if we discard the changes, it's not going to save those changes. But I already saved it, so we're good. Actually, let's get rid of this, and then just get rid of that. Okay. So then from here, let's just save it. And then the last part of this is you're going to be doing the short description, which is going to be, I'll show you on the product page. So this is the template we basically just created. So we did the title, we did the description, we did the features, we did all of this. The only part we have not done is the product highlights, which is right here. So the product highlights are, if you go over to more actions, click it, and then you go down to this little A where it says custom fields, and you just click on custom fields. And then from here, it'll provide you with the bullets from the page that you duplicated from. And then you just have to basically go through these, see if there's any of them you can reuse, which often there is. And then you just have to rewrite to be fit. So like, obviously we know, number one, that this is definitely it's not an Adam and Eve item anymore. So you do that. So, and but here's the problem is we don't want the customers to go to every single product page and just see the same information. Yeah. So while I don't want you just to remove the one or two and then just save it, you definitely want to rewrite it. So like instantly increases link size of penis, to achieve maximum sexual satisfaction or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and then firmness of your right, increase the, and you might be like, provides increase in sexual health and vitality, whatever it may be. So this part, this is going to be more along the lines of emotional selling points, where the other ones, the ones you did earlier, are going to be more of actual product features. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that was in which bit? That was
So,
in the.
so the one this part that we're in is right up here, the part that's right under the images. And this part was the one we did earlier, where if we go back, I'm just going to go back arrow to the page we were just working on. It's these features down here.
Okay.
That makes sense? So these features that you were going to manually do are showing up in the middle of the description. So you can kind of see it this way. Anything inside of this description box, anything you do in here is going to be in between product description and related items.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's really, that's how you do it. Now, obviously, the details of the writing and everything is going to be particular to the product and how you do it. Only thing I want to say is, while I do really enjoy your writing and you've done a great job, it's very important that we try our best to adapt to the U.S. English. You, for the most part, have. On occasion, when I review your blog posts, I'll have to rewrite like certain things, like we don't use words like rubbish out here. You know, there's intricacies between the two languages. And we're writing, 99% of my customers are United States Americans, and so they speak US English. And so I don't want them to get the idea that we're potentially like a British company. Not that there's anything against it, but people don't want to, you know, our customers don't want to buy from overseas. They're looking for customers or companies that are local to get products quickly.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. So now your questions. What kind of questions do you have? What can I answer?
That last little bit, I might need to just run through with you again when I start to do it. That extra tab.
So one under more actions and then custom fields.
So it's in more actions.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the more actions tab, and then custom fields. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The fifth down, yeah, it's the only one that has that little blue A, and it's custom fields. You just click that. That automatically takes you to this page where it's, and you're only working in. If you look, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Disregard everything. All you want to pay attention to is this initial box, and that's where you're going to type it. If you mess up the formatting, you could potentially mess up the page, but don't worry too much. It's always correctable. So when I look at the page, if I see any issues, I'll point out the issues, and then, you know, that way, you know, I'll teach you as we go. Because obviously you're going to make mistakes. It's just human nature as you learn, and we'll go through and we'll fix them together. And then, you know, I'm confident after 3 or 4 of these, you'll be completely on your own. The only other part is making sure you save this. So you have to save anytime you do all the information in this custom field, click save, because otherwise you'll lose it when you go back. So like you save here, and then you can always just click here to get back to the page, or the back arrow. So I always just click back into this to get here.
Cool. Yeah, if you do see any of the English stuff, do let me know, because I always think I'm international until I speak to my American clients and they're like, God, no, you're so British. So
I will do that. I will call you out on that. You've been really good about most of it, though. I got to be honest. Like, it's not that much. Maybe a little bit here and there in each of the big multi-thousand word articles that you write. So don't worry too much. But yeah, you're fine.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover. Oh, you know what I want to cover real quick with you? Do you have any questions about any of this stuff right now?
No, that all makes sense.
Perfect. The only other thing I want to go over with you is this, just so you can understand it. This basically, I tried my best to write it out in a way that was just self-explanatory. So let me just do this. This is going to be times 2, actually. So the SKUs, Honey's Place SKU plus -EM, you know, pricing, wholesale, I got to change this to be 2 times 2 again. Cost, use our discounted pricing, which I showed you in Honey's Place, which is always going to be your price.
Yeah. This makes
money.
more sense now we've spoken. I was looking at that diagram before. I said, oh my God, what
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah, I figured that. And I'm like, wow, when I'm reading, I'm like, wow, this looks like crazy stuff. But then I'm like, I think as long as I explain it to you, this just reinforces things. So that's all it does. So that's all I want to show you. Again, that's really all it is. It's just more of a reference point. You should have access to the internal backlink, which I will work on. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's really what we want to do. I don't want images, so I'm going to remove this image. I hate images with writing on it like this. I don't want this. I think it provides a poor user experience, even though it does give us information. It's just gross. It's ugly. So I want you to make sure you never use images like this on the page. This was like, obviously some guy did this in Photoshop. It's not a manufacturer's picture. So, you know, when you do this product, I'm going to have you, like, this will be the first product I want you to work on. I'll have you just remove all of those images. And to remove an image, hover over it, click the buttons. Oops. Actually, let me see here. They changed it. So what is going on? I've never. Okay, so you'll have to do it like that. So you have to click into the image. I don't know why it's doing that. That's weird. I'm going to refresh the screen real quick, see if that changes it. I've never seen that before. Ah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, we'll delete all these images. So that's how you delete the images. That way you can put the proper images in and everything. And then I'll send you the links to the few websites that usually have the products. And when you find them, like Commander, it's ultimately about searching to see if you can find it. And like this Commander, so I don't think so they don't carry this particular item. So we wouldn't be able to get the images from there. So no big deal. We could use, for example, the ones from Amazon, like we could use, let's see here. So this seems to be a good image we could use. Oh, the other part, let me just create, so well, I guess as long as you know it's 900 by 900, you would just drag this into the 900 by 900 template, because then it'll...
The software that I use anyway, you can, if it's, for example, if you wanted to use that, you could put a bit of a border around it and tidy it up a bit as well. So it's okay.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. If we have issues, we can conquer that as we cover it. You definitely want to try to have a package image like this. This would be a good image too, an up close of it, but you definitely want to avoid those images with the writing. Again, most of the time the manufacturer has images, but apparently not with this SI Novelties, and they only have one image. This image is always this image. So this might be, because it's high res, this might be a good image to use for the packaging. Yeah, so I would use this image and just save it to your desktop. That came from Honey's Place. And then, until you're familiar with everything, I'll just keep sending you sites that have with the images on it. So like maybe in the next one, for example, this, going to like this image for this one, for example, the Optimum Series rechargeable stamina pump. I'll send you the manufacturer's link too. Watch, I'll show you real quick. I know that one is Cal Exotics. So this one, I will have linked to this page as well for you. I just saw it earlier. So it is, let me see. It's the stamina pump. Okay, there it is. So I would have linked to this page. Cal Exotics is the manufacturer, and they actually have great, most of the time, yeah, so they have a bunch of good images. So like this one, for example, these are all the images they have. So we would probably take them all. So these are all great images for this pun. So I would have sent you this link and you could steal. And in fact, most of the manufacturers have descriptions, pretty decent descriptions too, that you can get a better idea of what the pump is or what the product is and how to write about it. specifications. You could see like, it takes 150 minutes to charge and it runs for 60. So that's good information. And the measurements. If you have questions on the measurements, I could help you with that too. But like Cal Exotic, so I try to use only products that I know we can get good information from. But that SI Novelties happens to be one I wanted, and I knew we weren't going to find good information on. So I figured might as well start with the absolute hardest first. So I apologize about that, but figured it's the best way to jump head first, right?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. So that's it. I mean, that's really everything in a nutshell. It's a lot of information, but again, 2 or 3 of these in, you're going to be like, wow, this is really easy.
For sure. I'm sure it's going to be fun.
So you have everything that you need from me. I will go ahead. I'll send you this video as long as it came out all right. I'll send you the video so we can you can have this as a reference. I will create more videos and send them to you just for more reference points. And if you have any questions at all, let me know. But let's start with this product. I will send this one through here. Oops. So this one is here. So now it's in your queue. So let's get rid of this. We don't need this. So now you have this. So I'll work on these. I'll put them in your queue, and then you just as long as you keep moving them over, that's how I know work is getting done. If they don't get moved over, then obviously you're gonna hear from me asking like what's going on, so I can get my work done, because I can only do what I can do when you're done with what you do.
Cool, that makes sense.
Awesome. Any other questions, Richard?
The only question that I had was just logistics.
Yeah.
So how much time you want me to spend in a month? I guess that would be guided by how many products you give me. That's fine. We sort of said 15, 20 minutes per product, so that's fine.
So for I guess, once we figure out how long it's going to take you, once you get more comfortable with this, obviously I know what you charge me per hour and I'm good with all that. I just can't spend thousands of dollars a month on products that might never sell. So it's a matter of, I'm guessing maybe we do 10 a month, maybe, or a couple. I don't know. We're going to have to work our way into that. I think what we should do, let's get rolling in it, and let's get you paid. Let's get them up, and if it's okay with you, I think that would be our best course of action, is to revisit how much time and how much effort we want to, or how much time and money we want to invest based off of how much effort you're putting in and what you think you're going to take. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Last question is, do you want me to invoice you with a VAT invoice or not a VAT invoice?
Not a VAT invoice, if you don't mind, please.
That is fine.
And you said you're good with PayPal?
Initially, I am. That's fine. I think we might hit a hurdle longer term because it's not a business account. It's a personal.
Understood.
In which case, then transfer-wise or something like that, I think works fine. I used to use that with my mate in Canada when he was doing like mastering for me. And that's work. But either of those is fine.
Okay. Well, whatever you want to do, listen, I want to make sure you're comfortable with everything. So if you want to start with PayPal and we can move over to TransferWise, that's cool. If you want to just start with TransferWise, I'm okay with that as well. I just have to get set up. I've never used it. It's really up to you. Ideally, I'd like to get you rolling immediately. So it's up to you.
Yeah, it's fine. None of this is a barrier to doing it. It's no problem at all. I am out tomorrow. I'll do a community gardening thing. I'm helping to do some flower beds and stuff where the council stopped spending money on it. We decided we were going to do the flower beds and make it nice for people. So I'm usually out on a Friday morning doing all that stuff. But aside from that, I'm going to be around all next week. Just not much tomorrow.
Perfect. Yeah, and there's typically no time frame. If I have a time frame where I'm like, hey, I really want to get this thing up, this is a hot product that's coming out, I want to be the first, I'll tag you in it and I'll put the time frame. I'll be like, hey, I need this done in like 2 days, and you could either approve it or say, I'm busy, I'll get to it on this day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Wonderful. Again, I want to make it really easy for both of us, because that's how long-term, I think that's the best course of action for long-term success. And Richard, I could see working together for years in the future. If this works for you, you've already proven more than enough on the blogs, and I have a bunch more blog stuff I'm going to get to. I've just been so wrapped up in the growth that it's been taking me way too long to get to the blogs and everything. So that's why everything's been slower on my end. But I've hired a couple new people, and I also have some automations getting put in place. So over the next couple of months, my time is going to be freed up, and I'm going to have a lot of time to spend on blog ideas and stuff. So do understand a lot more work is going to come down the pipeline if you have the resources to get it done. But for right now, I've been so bogged down with the growth that I haven't got to anything yet.
No worries at all. It's all good here.
Awesome. Well, any questions at all, please Slack message me. You can always message me directly in Favro as well, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I look forward to just getting this project together, and you have your marching orders on Commander, and we'll go from there.
Lovely stuff.
Awesome. Hey, Richard, thanks so much, and we'll be talking soon.
Lovely. Nice to talk to you, and catch you soon.
You as well. Take care.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.